in social media, and we are here to learn about that, right?
Dangers inherent in this process.
Yeah, lots of dangers. I'll tell you one such danger right now. To me, ClearTrip is probably the outstanding example of an outstanding Indian company who really, really gets social media. Truly they get it. And, and I was, I had a personal experience with this, and let me tell you this. So last year, July 2009, was my 9th wedding anniversary. I wanted to give a surprise to my wife. I go to ClearTrip almost a month before, and I book 2 tickets to Kuala Lumpur. No one knew about it, just me. Right? Now, I would, I would take care of all the other paperwork and everything. And then that evening, when the flight was off takeoff, I tell her that let's go to your Chitti's place. And the Chitti's place, you have to cross the airport to go. And we cross that, I take a right turn, get into the airport. She asked, why are you going to the airport? She said, we have to receive someone. So we go into the airport, all bags secretly packed, and I take her in and tell her that we're going to Kuala Lumpur. She should be the one who should be surprised, right? Actually, I was the one who was surprised. We walk into the counter, and this guy, this Malaysian Airlines guy, he looks into the ticket, does something on the computer and says, sir, your wife can go, but you can't. I said, what? What kind of a wedding anniversary celebration is this? And I said, why? He said, no, sir, it's been void. It was booked, but it's been cancelled. Well, you can't travel. And there's like some 2.5 hours to go. And we get into this major negotiation, 1 hour passes, 1.5 hour passes. I begin to sweat, just absolutely angry. It's late in the evening. The ClearTrip customer service is down. And major screw up. Somewhere someone made a big mistake. And I had to run outside, actually pay 3 times the actual rate in order to get my ticket, and we actually flew. The minute I landed, I went into my hotel room. This is what I did. I was like seething with anger, man. And then I linked it up to this entire experience out there. What happened? It was a long story, but I told it as it was. And I don't know, maybe I have very good friends, and or about 100 people retweeted this on Twitter. People started putting this up on Facebook, on blogs, and ClearTrip couldn't sit quiet. They had the heat, and in about a few hours, I get a call from ClearTrip. I don't know how they traced me out in my hotel room, but they called me up, and that's where again a solid lesson is out there. Immediately they put it up on their own blog, and they called it the Kiruba incident, and they said exactly what and all happened and why the screw up happened. And it was a major, I book it on ClearTrip. It is a Malaysian Airlines, but there was an Air India guy who was sitting out there at the counter, well, too many hands, and they clearly explained what was the problem out there. And they also found that there was a little problem from their side. They're not entirely to be blamed, but they immediately took corrective action. It took them about 2 days, but they immediately did the correction in their own booking process, and they also made that public out there. And so they called me up and said, we're terribly sorry. While you're coming back, we ensure that we booked your ticket, and also we booked it in business class. By the way, that was the only time in my life I've ever traveled in business class. And seriously, when Shashi Tharoor goes and says cattle class, now I truly understand.
I thought it was not a honeymoon trip.
Yeah, it would have been even worse, actually. But I got on CNN, IBN, on NDTV, But the best part was, who was directly involved out there? It was Rush Bhatt, who's the CEO of ClearTrip. He is directly involved, not just in this particular thing, but very, very clued in. He replies to tweets. He takes the time to reply to Facebook comments. He writes blogs on the ClearTrip blog. The CEO. And it's a fairly large, mid-sized company, and I'm sure they have, the CEO is extremely busy. He has lots of things to do, but yet, and this is what he said in this interview, he said, this is my duty as a CEO. If I do this, then the people under me will follow, and they'll really get the importance of being careful online. And, and that's why ClearTrip is, by miles, the best company out there to work with. And here's also a reason why we should start being very, very careful about Facebook. You know, Facebook is not just a social networking site. It'll become one of the most important platforms out there. It's not a site anymore. Mark my word, guys. You know, many years ago, I would upload my photos on Flickr, which used to be the best photo, but I don't think I'll ever go there very soon. It's completely taken over. You know, you can put videos out there. I mean, there's just so many things that you can do. The entire tagging and the social thing, they do it so brilliantly that I don't even have to look outside. And sorry. And it's so it's high time we truly started to realize the power of Facebook. Amongst all social media tools, you may give it a stepmotherly treatment, but never Facebook. And, you know, when I got into my first year engineering, my brother told me that don't worry, anything that you do, just follow Microsoft technologies, and you'll be safe. You know, this was way, way back. And you know, that's kind of like a very deja vu thing. Now, I think we really, really have to pay a lot of attention to Facebook. So the team out there decided that let's start out a campaign. And the campaign is, do you have the balls? Are you man enough? If you're man enough, prove it. Are you strong enough that you can rip a telephone directory apart with your bare hands? Why telephone directory? Because Sulekha was also into Yellow Pages. And their biggest competitor is not another online guy, but actually the physical directory, Yellow Pages. So the lesson here was, get rid of your printed fat Yellow Pages book and get online. Now watch this.
All the tape smoke.
Tiny elephant, no bigger. An elefinto speaks Spanish. Rico, bring me one chipper.
Over 50,000 people participated in this, and we had a few million video views on the entire set of videos out there. And the most important point out there was there was engagement out there. You know, there was truly that element of engagement. People would record themselves, put that up, and that's truly the power that we found out there. And this is, you know, if you notice, it's completely US market, and it really worked. I also wanted to quickly show you another brilliant campaign. How many of us have seen the subservient chicken? Raise your hands. Okay, subservient chicken is from Burger King, and they did something wonderful where, you know, there's this chicken in a chicken costume, a guy, and you can tell him whatever happens and he'll do it. Right? If you haven't checked it out, you must check it out. I don't know if I have it open, but I found a similar one. Here was a campaign. If it had played, it is just an amazing, amazing campaign on YouTube where you can actually interact. You know, just like how you can tell the chicken guy, you know, if you want to go sit on the sofa, he'll go sit on the sofa. And one of you, if you say that, jump on the sofa, he'll do that. Switch off the lights, turn off the TV, pee on the sofa. He actually goes and pees on the sofa. You know, it's just amazing, that kind of interactivity. And this guy is actually talking to each one of you. And the important lesson why, let me just play this video. I'll tell you what's the message for you. Oops.
Good morning. I am your taxi driver, Devesh Mishra. I live in Varanasi. I also make an arrangement for you, North India, Rajasthan, Himachal Pradesh, Uttaranchal, and down towards Calcutta.
Let's come to our very own Chennai. Here's this guy called Samson. He has his auto stand outside near Spencer's Plaza. What's that hotel out there? Connemara, outside Connemara. And he has his own, I'm sorry? Oh, Taj. Okay. It is Connemara. Okay, so this guy has a website called Tuk-Tastic, because foreigners don't call auto, they only know it as Tuk-Tuk. And he has this entire biodata out there. He has his profile about himself. He has his contact information, his phone number, his email ID, everything. He also tells what are all the things that he can do. And you know what? And he charges a heavy premium. And he's the most sought after auto driver in Chennai. Now, are we following what Samson here is doing out there? Let's ask ourselves. Are we truly using technology or the internet for our own benefit? If you can't use internet and social media for yourself or for you as an individual, I don't think we have no right to go and help another brand or another company. I think it's very important for us to, simple things like, do we, how many of us ego search ourselves on Google?